getting active early with On, with Shun, pairing up and wreaking havoc across the map, especially up into those solo lanes, and really getting Bin and Knight into good positions.
Jin, the final lock for T1. They're trying to find a little bit of poke for themselves at the start of fights. Already 600 gold ahead. So we might see a battle over the Scuttle Crab.
Crab Quest is, Bin is gonna help it out.
Goes in, Shun lands the smite, gets level 6 off it, has that keeper's verdict. Dredgeline still manages to knock back one as he is able to walk away. Penfine gaze out from Faker as he finds a solo kill in the 1v2. 41 in terms of neutral objectives, but Viper has been left alone in the bot lane for quite a while this has been happening, and because of that, he's been able to get a couple of plates, about a 300 gold advantage.
Yeah, Ziggs the Demolitionist.
Yeah.
All going according to plan there, and it's even more important as On now getting poisoned again. It is even more important to deny Ziggs teams the
trade one we see really often at the moment. I wonder with this Yorick how much damage Doran can do to those standing towers.
Yeah.
As the grubs do help you out. Played it against
Ultimate.
Top Esports as well with 3-1-9 is Carrier. Pulled out a little bit by On.
That's huge.
Yeah.
This Shen ultimate, the first support Shen ultimate, and it just gets Carrier's flash.
Looking for the engage there. Steadfast Presence coming out from Shun as the TP is used by BLG. They want the fight. Owner taunted flash onto Doran as well. Owner with a cease and desist, but he's trying to get to the wall and he just can't get out. Knight claims the first kill of the tournament for BLG.
First tower bonus.
Let a couple more minions die to the turret. Bin stays around, and BLG will accelerate a 1.6.
The next dragon is fairly close, and they should be able to set up nicely for it. On is actually getting the vision early.
Doran needs to get away from Bin, puts down the Dark Possession. Bin flashes over it and doesn't have to fear a tower. Doran with the flash away, but Bin looking for those final auto attacks. Won't be able to find him. Morning Mist puts the ghouls on him, 6 it. There's the curtain calls as Bin locked up against the wall. Daddy Doran out higher.
Man, I mean, On, every time you see him on screen, he's poisoned and he's running for his life.
True.
I mean, Faker has absolutely destroyed.
T1 aren't over-investing in some of this chip damage as Knight comes in. There's the Stand United and onto Doran. A 2v1 is not one he can win. Knight claims his second.
And look at that. Slingshots him up in the experience. Being able to get the assist on this kill against the level 11 top laner. Really nice for him as well. So good for Knight, good for On as well. And they just give up the topside Herald there. I think it's definitely well worth it for BLG. They need Knight to be very strong, and he is going to be.
About 500 gold ahead.
The early ult, they're going to go invest resources towards that Rift Herald. So let's make that time count on the map, and they certainly do that.
Still pretty much in the balance this game. 1,000 lead for BLG as they look for Doran once again. The slam doesn't land him against the wall, but the keeper's verdict locks him up. And with the gravity well down, there is no escape. Last rites for a bit of healing. Might be able to escape in the end. Knight takes the kill and then tries to get out, but a cease and desist in the Dredgeline. And it's time to Pays the Piper. He comes across the wall. Owner kills Knight. Pays takes the top side of the map. While that was happening, they do still have about 1,000 gold lead, but once again, it's Faker in the side lane picking up this tower.
The rewards get very, very big in a minute and a half because Baron arriving at 20 minutes and we're fighting already.
Carrier going in for the hook on there with the Taunt. Headfire gaze coming out as well as Carrier tries to escape. As Shun slams him against the wall with that heroic charge, and now the teeth taken out of it.
So the shield there won't be available for this, and there, yeah, I mean, you run in there, you get some vision, but they're going to still lose the objective.
Doran pushing up, looking for the tower. There's the Drake, 2T1. Is only the second of the game for either team, so not too impactful yet as the Rift Herald finds its way around, but the Steadfast Presence is going to get the knockdown onto Carrier. Mega Inferno Bomb as well. Owner with a good cease and desist. He's going to try and get across the wall as T1. All hail the retreat, but Carrier has other ideas. He goes all guns blazing forward, but can't find a CC chain for the rest of T1 to react.
Oh yeah, he makes the call to go back in, but he just immediately goes down. BLG on the attack again.
Rocket Belt forward from Knight, just looking for poke onto Pays here. Isn't going to have too much more, wants him low so that BLG can try and open up the mid lane by taking down this tier 1.
Yeah, the siege definitely scary here. Again, they have so much range, so much poke with the Jace and the Ziggs available. But
Good
Faker!
catch on the side from Faker. Shun knocks him back with the keeper's verdict. The curtains open! And Pays bends the ball.
There's no jungler for BLG.
BLG are TPing in here. It's going to be Viper and Knight, but that Baron's already down to 3k. Ona with the smite. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, but Ona lands the smite. On looking at a flank position, a 4v5. Steadfast presence holding him in place, but Ona's still able to walk away, and T1 as a 3-man squad can step forward. Shun trying to get a little bit of vision, but there's nothing really for him to garner, as now because of this, Bin has to step back. T1 will take a tier 2 in the top side. Meanwhile in the mid lane, it is Faker who has jumped on. Petrifying Gaze is dodged by Knight, but Faker with the flash. Knight flashes over, he's going to get hooked for it. The Arcane Storm doing a lot of work with the curtain calls coming out as well. And on trying to block the shots, this time Knight doesn't fall. And T1 lose their mid laner, lose their talisman, and lose any chance to push further with this Baron buff.
I mean, that is critical. Putting a stop to the pushing here. BLG, I mean, and on the side of T1, they have 2 point-and-click, very easy target abilities here with the Nautilus, with the Vi.
Hayes though, step up, Arcane Storm immediately. Has to just walk away, but that's half his health. 9 seconds on the Chemtech Drake. T1 can give this. It's only the second of the game for BLG, and I think T1 should just back away. Hayes does heal up a ton though as Shun looks for the engage down towards the bottom side. Good keeper's verdict. Ona down, Jungler down, and Dorman on the wrong side of dodge. BLG begin to collapse onto him, and there's no escape. Buried in a grave that he has dug as BLG find 2, unable to dash away from Pace. T1 still eyeing up a fight, but now it looks like they've decided mid lane their priority instead. Yeah, BLG were more cohesive there, grouped together, ready for the play at the Tribe Rush. While T1 were split, they had Doran on bottom wave still and Faker in mid wave. So Pace, another good play for BLG. Oh, the taunt doesn't land, and because of that, Pace is able to walk away. Did still have cleanse. Dredge on going in, depth charge onto the back line as well. On takes a big chunk out of Pace, but now he's got no bullets left in his gun, and Shun looks to chase him down. Rocket belt forward from Knight won't be enough. Hayes, only 2 left in the magazine. Won't be able to defend against 3 of BLG. Reloads, takes a second, looks to see if his team will back him up. And in the end, the minion wave doesn't die quickly enough for the Satchel recently either. And he did just get his actualizer for the Cassiopeia. So, yeah, you're looking for a Miasma follow-up. Goes in, slammed against the wall. Miasma down as well. That's Faker and Oda try and dash forward, knock up onto On and Shun, but look at the health bars. It is not T1 who are winning. Ona dives onto the back line and dives for it. Doran tries to jump in. A meat shield is all he can be, and a satchel charge will be his epitaph as Doran falls to Viper. Carrier chased out by Shun towards the top side, slammed into the wall and slammed into the grave. BLG find 3, and T1 have no purchase on this game. A deadly flourish will land the 1-to-1 as Faker finds the Miasma to answer with one of their own. Can Faker and Pace create something here? 2v4 at the Baron. The curtains open. What do we see? 4th shot loaded in the chamber. Bin down from it. BLG 5,000 on the Baron. They'll stick on it for now. The Satchel Charge trying to keep Faker at bay. 3k now for the Baron. As Shun is just looking for that smite, should be able to secure it, will get it. Now in the back of the pit, Steadfast Presence lands the slam, but the cleanse away from Pace means that he'll escape. BLG want to live with this Baron to fight another day. Pace! But Pace has other plans! Knight tries to trade back onto him, and the Arcane Storm will find one. Faker needs to run away from it as well. Knight low on mana, Petrifying Gaze will find him, and Knight is going to fall. T1 somehow, from somewhere, from the depths. 300 gold separates us, and BLG have position on this dragon. They want to get to Soul Point. Pays a long way away. Deadly Flourish coming out won't land. I think BLG will just back away before the fight. The mid lane push though for T1. They can try and take that tier 2 down. Get a little bit of gold back in their pockets. Basically at this point the gold is even. 1,000 here, 1,000 there. Nothing too substantial. Vertical could easily be being done by Ona while all of this is happening. And in fact that is the state of affairs as the Drake is already down to 2k. Keeper's verdict doesn't land. Carrier tries to dive onto the back line. Mega Inferno Bomb keeps Pace and Ona out of the fight, and Carrier is going to fall. He distracted BLG, but with it he will sacrifice his life. Baron now the next objective. Big wave in the top lane as well, pinned by BLG. That's the inhibitor tower down just to the minions. BLG will turn their attentions towards the Baron, but there's always a possibility of a TP behind. Faker actually TPing to the top side. By sprinting, holy moly, he's so fast on that Cassio. with the home guards coming out and the extra move.
Instead, does not want that heat. Carrier was still respawning, and now the teleport from BLG behind.
Shouldn't getting caught out though. Look at the damage coming out from Pace with the floor shot. Bin does have the flank as Faker is caught out by Knight towards the top side of the fight. Arcane Storm down on the Faker Sarah shield, enough to keep him alive. Owner having to flash away from the Super Mega Inferno bomb as Carrier rejoins the fight on the top side. Faker forced away, curtains open. Knight keeps Doran at bay, but it looks like all of T1 have managed to extricate already. Only 40 seconds before it is back up for T1.
Whoa, Pace!
Flash towards the satchel onto Pace, tries to get him back, maybe in front of him, not going to find him as well. They'll look for Kerry as well as Bin steps up, Deadly Flourish lands the root, curtains open, and who is going home? On almost taking out the Guardian Angel onto Owner as he dives onto the backline. Miasma down again onto Sun, but the heroic charge finds Owner in the dark possession, locked in the cage. Sun, another Deadly Flourish, Doran finds the kill, both junglers down. As BLG and through this alongside Pace.
They're burning it, they're burning it!
As you say, Shun not there yet, and BLG a little slow to the play. The Mega Inferno is going to do a lot of damage, but there's the Baron already over to T1. BLG will look to the fight afterwards. Can they find anything? Can they find a crack in the armor of T1 who are grouped up? Faker starting his recall. Deadly Flourish doesn't land. The Maiden doing a bit of work. Hairpin's verdict doesn't land on 21 as Shun and Knight caught out. Cease and desist onto Knight. He's isolated. But Owner not with his team towards the top side. On and Bin are down, and Faker finds the double flash away from Shun. But the curtains are closed on BLG, and Doran is slamming the door in their face. Knight take a knee because T1 are here for your lives.
T1 burned the Baron, and they turn for the fight. Clean ace for the world champions. They're going to be able to run straight to the base medic. It's already open in the top lane. They've got the Baron buff, and the base doesn't stand a chance.
In every single fight you see T1, they step forward, Carrier and Owner go in, you think they're in the belly of the beast, but T1 have claws, they rip their way out, and in what is only game one of this best of 5, T1 will claim first blood.
Good. If you have all these people diving in onto you, honestly, I think they should continue to lock it. There we go. Knight's Swain here locked in, and it's in a really good spot for a Swain too. So many short-range champions on T1's side.
So after you've used your Cathian Rain and your Void Seeker, don't really have any tools to clear out that wave. It's not something like a Caitlyn that can just poke and prod with the extra range. Bin here, a little bit overextended as Owner is looking for a gank. Doran down to 400 HP though. Bin continues to trade onto him. Bin not quite yet level 6, only has half the level to go as he flashes away from the Tempest Cripple. Tries to turn back onto Doran, slice and dice, but flash away from the T1 top. And now Owner and Doran can just pinch a movement here onto Bin. No escape for the Croc.
Out to range of basically their tier 2 towers. He's in all range. He could join the fight, and T1 can burn.
Actually, a really nice timer call there from T1. The topside scuttle was just coming up, and Jun went across for it as the magical journey comes in. Good double cosmic binding. Pays needs to back up his teammates. The hero's entrance coming out from Faker, but with a demonic ascension, Knight begins to go big. Faker will be able to justice punch his way out. BLG
evening up the kills.
Bin with a slice and dice and a Dominus. Doran does have the public execution. When that Dominus begins to expire, there's a possibility he'll go for the players on, is ignited and flashes away. Pays having to block for Carrier. Vision of Empire doesn't find its mark. Viper still looking for a little bit more damage here, but even with the magical journey into the corner of the pack, the movement speed, Carrier flashes, tries to dash back, but Shun with a perfect flash knew exactly what was forces Carrier away. Owner looking for at least one of these grubs if he can find it. Faker coming down from the mid lane. Owner will get one, and that's enough for T1 for now. They'll back away. It goes 2 to BLG. No one's going to have those mites to bolster their attack on the towers.
All right, so 2 grubs to 1. Yeah, it's the extra dragon as well for T1, but the extra gold lead here. And it's still going to be costly, though. He's low health, wants to stick around for the cannon wave. Carry going to wrap around to try and punish, but look, they know this is coming. Swain also running over.
There's 4 members of T1 on the top side of the map right now. It's the next wave they're playing for. Carrier, in fact, dives in before it, and with a killer instinct, Pays will take the kill. Carrier dies. Doran almost goes down as the Vision of Empire secures that goal.
There it is.
One punch, so important, as you say, the Rylai's first item here. They're trying to put Bin in the trash, and they're doing it over and over again. Carrier goes in, Bin with a big Colder Meek. TP out from Knight seems to be enough for T1 as Bin looks for a bit more engage. On has the Temper Fate. Faker comes across to try and help out. He's 3 on top. Shun was able to take a tower. There's the Temper Fate, lands on 2. On looking for the Cosmic Binding, gets it just in time, but the cleanse away from FaZe is enough. And the safeguard out from Owner. True Shot Barrage, flash away from the public execution from Viper. It's Fake has the just spent away, but Doran finds it with a flash repudiation. The Hound's pursuit onto Doran should be enough to secure the 1-for-1. Meanwhile, on the top side, T1 are able to extract.
If you're looking at T1 right now, FaZe was a pretty tall mountain in the previous game as Keria goes in.
Exec automation onto On. On able to magical journey across, but Owner looking for the chase. Flash away by the Bard.
Anymore, it's going to become really, really dangerous. The Kaza with Cleanse Flash in this setup has a lot of room to operate. Owner fighting around him in mid lane as well. But they just need to keep, FaZe's
lies in wait in the jungle. On there, of course, because the Temper Fate could do so much work towards a tower dive and stop the kill from happening. Keria tries to get away. Bin flashes in with the Dominus. Keria flashes the wall just in time. 100 health. Enough to keep him alive.
Yeah, we don't want to fight into it, so they're going to look to just keep pushing mid lane. The On ultimate also going into the dirt again.
Well, no, because I think I have the opposite idea about the Swain. I feel like later on in the game he gets tankier and it's harder to burst him down. And so the Swain excites me more the game goes on, the more even it is. Swain becomes stronger as Knight with the Demon Flare is going to jump onto Doran, who flashes away, tries to dive onto On with the public execution, but Shun on a rampage now. On the way we both speak about it, there's so much anticipation, but we've been anticipating for 20 minutes. We haven't seen the wombo combo yet. Yeah. And so we're just
teleport though,
getting to that position where we wonder whether T1 will find the engage that they really want. Faker goes in with the Justice Punch and Magical Journey to get them away, but Ben now isolated from his team, even with a TP in, the Slice and Dice won't get him out of a Hexag Ultimatum. Knight, double never move, a demonic ascension, and Knight, the demon of T1's nightmares. The dive in with the Hound's pursuit. Knight flashes Keria down a 3-man route. Nevermore, nevermore, as Knight gets the never move, and you hear the roar of the crowd.
Well, after a triple, I'm definitely more scared of Knight.
Told you.
He's able to get the Herald on bottom side too. They delete the tower and BLG. Blowing. And they go for the flash, and he gets another triple pull.
On the safeguard coming in as well as Pays tries to trade with Viper, gets the shutdown, but now Knight is just too strong for Pays. Death's hand reaches out and takes Pays to the afterlife.
Golden left hand of the LPL finds another, and they're also going to take the towers afterwards. BLG destroying the map after all these team fight victories. Why people in the past a lot picked the Kaza into Ezreal for this exact
public execution. Temper Fate coming down to try and save Bin, but it's only On and Bin on this portion of the map right now, and Bin has turned into shoes. That Croc is done. A Hexag Ultimatum says On, die or don't.
And then they can
goes down, and as you say, now the Baron for T1.
Yeah, they can use his own magical journey to get to the Baron even quicker. Keria looks for Shun.
How do you get into this fight? You have no flash on the Swain. Knight will need to walk straight through the gaping maw of T1. The taunt on Shun flashes away. Faker in with the Justice Punch. The Baron resetting. Heroes Entrance to try and get Faker away. Knight beginning to step forward and Pays in the middle of the meat grinder. Knight finds one, the second to bleed from Shun.
Knight, the king of the LPL, and they're going to be able to, okay, they can't get to the teleport in time, but they stop the Baron. They get their extra kills. And he again, never move, never miss also for Knight.
Just absurd. BLG going to start up the Baron immediately. Owner still in the vicinity though. His smites this tournament have been sublime.
I mean, if he steals this,
Viper's going to jump onto him on there as well. True Shot Barrage comes out. Vision from On. Cosmic Binding lands the stun. Baron down to 5k. Owner more interested in keeping himself alive than taking the Baron now as Viper dashes in once again. And that's another over to BLG. They'll secure the Baron. Keria.
And a BLG Dragon to boot.
We'll see how much they can do with this Baron. In game 1, T1 were unable to break through those tier 3s here. We see T1, 4 members invested on the top side are looking to catch out Bin.
Yeah, and they're
an Isle of Triumph in a sea of defeat in terms of those gold advantages. Knight is 3k ahead. T1 exchanging their top lane inhib for a mid lane tier 1 and a bot lane tier 2. The problem is BLG can continue to push forward. Bin could try and stop the backs. True Shot Barrage came out from Viper to try and catch Pays before he could finish that recall, but they do manage to do so. A very short magical journey. But BLG use it to get over the wall. Owner could look for a kick flash. It doesn't go for it. Really just trying to spot out BLG as they wander back through this T1 jungle.
And Doran's still bottom lane. Okay, now he's channeling his recall. But they're just going to see this tower for sure, waiting for Doran to finish up the recall. He's coming back. Are they going to get out? But Knight is not flinching. He is not hitting that button early. Faker now under attack.
Flash Cosmic Boundary doesn't land onto Faker, just gets a slow from the auto attack. True Shot Barrage is going to go in as well as Owner, the new target, safeguards to Faker. The taunt comes out. Shun dodges it. Dragon's Rage for the kick back with the tempered fate. Locked in a T1 tomb. Faker taken out by BLG.
All right, definitely cannot ever get too calm.
Faker, the universal taunt as the magical journey comes in from on. BLG TPing Knight in. Faker tries to escape, but a good Cosmic Binding. The Hounds pursued on carry, but Shun takes him out as well. BLG Decisive on the top side of the map. They have super minions on their way. Doran having to recall from the bot lane to try and join up with the only 2 remaining members of his team. Bin is pushing through mid, BLG distracting, now TPing in. Bin looking for the end with the rest of BLG. Sub 30 minutes, they're trying to take out T1 and even out the score. Doran goes in, stunned up, locked up. Demonic Ascension from Knight underneath the Nexus Towers, and the Demon Flare will be another public execution. Only the execution of T1. BLG even us up as we've got a series on our hands.
Oh, Knight ascends! Previous metas when we had mages. And now with a Vel'Koz, baby. Okay, Leona point and click, that is pretty good. The Solar Flare is very good answer to Vel'Koz ulti.
You have a lot of CC from the side of T1, and then you have a lot of damage. And
by the way, he plays so aggressively early on, and very frequently will do this recall here. So he was able to harass Doran so heavily, push him under tower, get the push for himself, the early recall into a Cull pickup.
Flash from Knight! Oh, Faker's reaction flash just in time. The Rune Prison did connect, gets the root. Knight now, Faker staying around, gets the level up. It's an extra 100 health for him. Shun looking for the invade down towards the red side. Owner looking towards the mid lane, trying to bail out Faker. Molten shield the overload enough. And Knight can now walk towards his jungler, just steps away. Owner rooted still. The monkey enough with his staff to take a 1-for-1.
So first
out the cow, on stays around because Shun is in the area. Flash in, looking for Faker. Molten shield heal for the movement speed. Knight here with level 6. Shun coming in from the side as well, and Faker has no way out. Knight secures his second.
A BLG classic. Shun it on, link up with his early call and his huge CS lead and constant pressure there. Still, despite that, they only get the 1 grub for BLG, and Owner's going to be able to move in there with Keria. They push him out, and then get the other 2 for T1.
TP back in with an extra item. He needs to be occupied, which allows Shun the free time, knowing there's no threat from the mid lane.
Okay, so mid stage of the game approaching fairly quickly, almost at the 10-minute mark, as BLG had a very strong and smooth lane
there. For T1, sometimes their laning phases can look like this as well. Can struggle as the Solar Flare comes into the mid lane, but this is what they're so good at doing, is making plays and finding picks, and Pays picks it up from the bot lane.
Ultimate, they follow up the CC, they get the kill, but now he's under attack. Look at the mini-map here. Shun's going for it.
Looking for the damage onto Faker. Supreme Display of Talent doesn't get the CC, but On is there to close it out as Faker falls to the Alistar.
Mid lane is just a playground for jungle and support for both teams. It's jungle and support difference always.
Constantly there, constantly there.
T1 gank it first, they get the kill, but then BLG gank it right back.
It's a risk for Doran as well. He's underneath this tower. Cultivation of War, that passive, nowhere near stacked up for him. You can see Keria moving out on the map as well to try and track where On has been. Did get spotted on vision. Shun is here as well. No Supreme Display of Talent for the Kiana. Is Owner just out of vision right now? TP in. BLG look for the engage. Unbreakable Will popped on the Alistar. Grim Deliverance coming out from Doran as he tries to dash away. Owner here for the fray, but look at the damage coming out from that Vel'Koz. Shun takes 1, and BLG just able to walk out with a single kill.
Interesting, yeah. They do have Viper teleporter all the way up here.
Of the game, and T1 just waiting to find a way that they can use this wombo combo. It feels difficult for them overall, Kobe, to actually
the stacking there, but here we go. Do BLG actually want to bring Bin? Because as of right now, he's staying bottom lane, and they just want the Jax to get the first.
T1 have only got one plate anywhere on the map so far. Bin takes the first tower, extends his gold lead to almost 2.
I know I'm like, oh, I keep bringing it up, but it's going to be painful.
It's what we thought would happen, right? Coming into this series, the expectation was as Knight flashes in with the Rune Prison, gets pulled back with the Dreaded Return, tries to get out with the Realm Warp, but Knight just ints it under the tower. Shun with the supreme display of talent will stop Owner, but with the clone and the flash and the Cyclone, Shun with a good audacity across the wall manages to escape. On with a knockback onto Carrier. Zenith Blade just testing it. Faker relegated to a side lane to try and pick up any gold that he can off the map. We'll be able to take down that tier 1 in the top side.
Yep, they're just building towards their big moments. Either Dragon Soul fight or some Baron shenanigans, perhaps. Maybe a little circus around the Baron.
I mean, that's a T1 special, isn't it? Doran now needs to get out. Oriate Rush, look for gold, looking for an escape, but Knight and Bin are just too big. Grim Deliverance gets in with the Dawning Shadow, gets the Cultivation of War, that passive just in time to be resurrected. The Dawning Shadow from Pays saves his top laner's life.
So they're out.
Across the wall, and BLG actually slightly split here. Knight does have the Realm Warp to join up with the rest of his squad, but T1 are looking for him instead. They'll take the tower. That's the price for forcing Knight back. Shun going down towards the bottom side. BLG looking for a long, long flank, allowing Bin to push in the bot side. Knight coming in from the mid lane as well, as T1 will start up the Dragon.
Yeah, BLG, they've got both lanes pushing, as you say, and T1 have the pressure. They're going to start DPSing this Dragon, get it low. Shun could look for a steal. They're going to teleport in.
TP from Bin. Shun trying to get across the wall, will manage to do so. Knight now has that flank position. Carrier stepping forward, onto On. The stun onto Knight. Bin tries to jump onto the back line, and the Drake is secured. It's sold for BLG. Meanwhile, in the middle of the fight, Grim Deliverance coming out from Doran. The Dawning Shadow, this time not as much. His friend doesn't give him a massive shield. T1 forced back, and the size of the wallets for BLG will just force a T1 out of the fight. A soul in the ding ding, let's go again. Round 2, this time at the Baron buff. T1, this is so often their playground, but 5k down, it's difficult to find a way into the fight. The Mega Blast Cone for Ono, as you say, no Cyclone, no ultimates. Tibbers up in 2 seconds time. Bin keeps Ono at bay. Faker trying to step forward, has the flash, has the Tibbers. Does he have a way in? Supreme Display of Talent and the Baron going over to BLG. Ono already dead. Faker trying to step forward, but even with Tibbers by his side, all he gets is a hug goodnight as his screen fades to grey. And the rest of T1 will join him in the Death Chamber. Route onto Pays. Knight still chasing. Doran with a good pull back will slow up Shun, and Pays may be able to walk away. BLG still on the chase. On goes on to Doran. Knight will follow suit. There's the Rune Prison. The disintegration ray burns through T1's hopes. Only Pays left alive.
And this game of the series has been all BLG. Pressure from the very beginning, and they're not even done.
Pays pays the price as Shun finds another, and as you said, in game after game 2, it is not only Knight and Bin who are stepping up. Shun is having an incredible series. It will be the inhibitor in the mid lane. 28 minutes in, the respawns coming out means that BLG cannot close this. Although it was a slower early game, they eked out leads. Grim Deliverance being used by Doran in the picture-in-picture as the Lifeform Disintegration Ray comes out. BLG able to force Doran away. Another ultimate down for T1. The inhibitor down in the mid lane for the next 3.5 minutes. This Red Bull Baron power play may just be a game-ending push. BLG with 3 towards this top side. Zun going towards mid, and Knight pushing through that mid lane. T1.
Props to Viper, even though the spotlight was on the solo lanes.
Oh, Doran slowed. Counter-strike in. Supreme Display of Talent, Grim Deliverance. Well used. Doran with a good knock-up. On's going to distract the rest of T1 towards the side, though. Solar Flare lands on tonight. The Realm Warp's not going to get them out, and there's a Cyclone on the back line. Pays trying to come in. Shun forced away, but Ona's already dead, and I'm afraid BLG have just bought too much grace through this early game. 12k buys you a lot of mistakes, and this time they will not make more. Faker and Pays forced back to the base, and Bin wants a little bit more piece of this action. Flashes forward, has the stopwatch still. The Chemtech Drake helping him as he's on low HP. Only Pays and Faker left to defend, but it looks like BLG will come up trumps in this game. So long T1 have been the perennial boogeymen of the LPL. Today, BLG tried to prove that wrong. Faker down. The Nexus Tower's next. as Pays once again the last man standing for T1, and BLG bear him no mind as they go to match point.
Game 1 was close. T1 take it. Game 2, BLG had a great counter pick. Game number 3, BLG just had...
Nah, it's going to be when it has to be, right?
I mean, this is what he's been playing more in solo queue for his solo queue account, so... Gwen did get those nice little buffs back up to try and get her back in the meta. They wanted her more back in MSI meta, and now we finally do get her at
to see if perhaps he can skewer on as that spider steps forward. Bone skewer in, repel up from on, and they turn on to Pays immediately. Flash across the wall from Viper. Pays just can't escape. It's all gone pear-shaped for T1 in the bot lane at level 1. Turn it around. Of course, if there's a little bit more CC there, then it becomes harder to get your rebuttal down in time. As Bin has hit level 6, has that needle work and begins to snip his way through Doran. Does have the Intofos, but look at the damage from the 1,000 cuts. Bin with the needle work, and Doran, well, it's just sewed up in the top lane. Great flash from Bin, Doran overstays.
This game.
And Ona's not on his way up there. Ona is not bailing you out,
He's still bottom. Yeah, he was hovering last time for the whole play, and then does the Gromp and comes on back.
The question is, can T1 get enough of an advantage over here? There's the Cocoon with the repel. And there's some great damage from Pays as T1 are able to lock up that Elise. It's the issue if that initial bit of CC doesn't hit and you repel up. Oh, great flash as well with the Phantom Undertow and the Ghost Water died. The flash EQ combo as well from Ona. A moment ago I asked.
There he goes in, flashes to make sure the stun hits, can pull him back, and then even though Pays, Viper's able to, wait a second.
Oh, Cataclysm in from Ona. Goes for the dive as well with Phantom Undertow from Carrier. Pays on a killing spree. Meanwhile, Ona falling low, gets taken out by the weirding. Knight needs to run, and T1 are on the chase.
He's trying to get over to Bin, but I don't know. Carrier and Doran trying to close the door here. Bin wants to get those minions into the tower to allow Knight an area to walk out.
Shun is level 6 as well. This is dangerous for Carrier. Knight tries to go between worlds across the veil, dashes away. There's the weirding as well for the damage, and Knight can just, as you say, flash out the back. Pays flashing forward though, rocket bounce! Unfortunately for him, the Eclipse not enough, not golden enough for him to secure that kill, while Faker uses the Spirit Rush in the mid lane as Viper and On push in. Bot lane abandoned by both these teams as Grub's the target for BLG.
Yeah, everybody roams up for the action here, and the long chase on Knight does not even afford the extra kill to T1. Pays trying to answer there, had his proto belt done. Almost was able to get enough damage, but not quite, and On's Rico gets interrupted. That's
On Carrier now, running with that Ghost Water dive, heals up. Knight looking for top lane as Doran his target. Shun is here as well. Doran's got to do a lot of work to survive through this one. Shun with the Ishtar's impact across the wall. They'll put down the Hallowed Mist and impale onto Doran, and enough needles to send him back to the fountain. Meanwhile, on the bot side, On and Viper now need to decide, do you stick or do you run away? Do you stay or do you live to fight another day? As good damage from the Spider Link, Cataclysm onto the backline. Viper able to walk away from the flag and drag combo with a TP coming in. Solus now only finds one Pays. Down to about half HP, good rebuttal on Ignited, and Knight just here to save him. Golden Eclipse not enough, even with the Ignite ticking onto On. They didn't have those
into Knight and into Bin, and try and use that replenishing shield over and over. Carrier!
It looks for it onto Viper, death from below! Carrier finds him!
Yeah, thank you, observers. Tower's gonna go down in favor of Bin. That is first tower bonus for him. Mid lane though.
Flag and drag in from Ona, Cataclysm down, On goes into the sky. Shun with a good Ishtar's impact on Carrier is still going to get rooted up. And now that Skarner has no place to go. Pays with a double. T1 have come to life. He is going to be stymied on his way, because a Pike can get quite close to you before they use the Bone Skewer. A Jarvan can Cataclysm on top of you, and then you haven't got your skip and slash, and you're not skipping nor your slash.
It's always so hard because you kind of have to play an in and wait a second. How long are they going to go for this? Carrier's on the way.
As is Pays. Bin only has the plate of steel caps. Now with TP in from T1, they are collapsing on the top side, and Bin might be done. Good flash, but the flash and Topos brings him back, and they bury him in the lane where he had such dominance.
Okay, well, they choose the battlefield, and now it's around mid 2, and they bring 4 members. T1, they overload the top side. Now they're going to transfer pressure towards mid. Pays, can he hit it?
Ona had to flash away from the Impale. Cataclysm came in as well. The Solar Slayer, the Snare did not connect.
Great, the strength, the playmaking. They move around the map, forcing these plays, getting that kill onto Bin to try and keep him in check. He's not quite at his 2 items yet, because he upgraded his boots and he gets locked in again!
Bin locked up, and where can you go? X marks the spot. T1, they changed the battlefield to top lane. They said Bin is the only one ahead. Let's steal any of that away. Maybe took the Gromp, didn't quite see. You can see the swing in T1's favor.
He's gonna get a little bit in response.
And he's just, you don't need to be gold rich as a Cassante. Your items, you just
stealing away some support items. Those things are made so cheap. Bin under attack again.
And the dash away. Faker holding that second Spirit Rush. They'll jump in for Bin. Hallowed Miss dodges the charm, locked against the wall though, and this is without Pays even here. The Fed carry for T1 is not needed to take down the Fed carry for BLG.
And I mean, yeah, they don't even have a tower up there anymore. Yes, BLG do technically get to push mid, but
Phantom Undertow. Sorry, Ghost would have dived in from Carrier as Pays is already killed off on Ishtar's Impact. Will get the knock back. So they look for the Phantom Overtow, but can't quite land it. But there's the Solar Snare, and Shun allergic to the sunlight. A golden eclipse as Carrier finds another. Viper trying to walk away, but a flag and a drag will pull him 6 feet under. T1 cannot contest. It will be soul point for T1. A Cloud Soul alongside it. And with Carrier on this bike, I would be very scared.
Overwhelming.
Battle Herald comes down from Ona as they look for the charge towards the bottom side. Bin dashes to the side of the Bone Skewer, but still that charge is going to come in. Bin going forward
here, though.
Onto him. Shun looking for the Ishtar's Impact onto Pays, who rocket belts away. Ona trying to protect his Bin, dies towards the bottom side to the death from below, and now Pays with the Cataclysm there can just rain down solar damage from this Mel. It is easy enough for T1. Pays legendary, an ace in the hole, blocked by Faker. Ona looking to try and turn off on, but in the end, the mid lane push is all that T1 need.
It looks like it is going to be the clap back. T1 with that one, they just blow it out of the water. 8,000 the gold lead, should be a Baron as well. I mean, Pays just does so much damage on the Mel. That was a fight on 2 fronts, as Ona and Pays were able to win the top side.
They kind of need the TP to come in sharpish as we're both falling low to the Baron. Carrier pushing mid while the Baron begun by his team, but T1 at 22 minutes are going to have an 8,000, almost 8,500 gold lead when this Baron falls. And for BLG, I mean, it feels impossible to get back in this game. Combined that this game has gone so pear-shaped for BLG. Looks like an engage onto Ona. There's the weirding, there's the ace in the hole, there's the impale, and there's the kill. A shutdown going over tonight.
He's not gone back to spend it yet, of course. And T1 still have such a massive gold lead, but teleport for BLG. They want to make the play.
Shun goes in, a great bone skewer from Carrier to push Shun out of the wall. Knight coming in with the weirding onto Pays as well, who tries to rocket belt away. Meanwhile, Doran's trading with Bin. Pays getting chased down. A golden eclipse will make it a 1-for-1. Carrier with the Phantom Undertow will go in and they'll take out Bin. Now a 3v3. Faker with the Spirit Rush forward, looking for a little bit more, but On and Viper are on the retreat. The charm doesn't connect as they turn it around now. Viper doesn't have a huge amount of damage in his backpack, but he can still chip away at T1's health bars. The stun from Carrier with the flash, and they'll manage to catch out on. Viper now needs to step up for BLG, which is not something we too commonly see on the Caitlyn. Still an item advantage across the board for T1. Apart from Doran, who is even.
Check, but even that is a little dangerous. They're trying to take down the controller. He does get one of them. Doran comes over to lend to his help as well.
Doesn't land the hook onto On, who flashes, gets the cocoon immediately onto Pays, but the follow-up just isn't quite there. Great impale. Pays is down. BLG find life from nothing. They find blood from a stone as Pays goes down, and now T1 all hail the retreat. The cocoon again onto Carrier. build over Peacemaker there for the follow-up, but Baron now in BLG's eyes.
What an incredible play from On and Shun. They find the pressure onto Pays, and now BLG, they're trying to make more.
Cocoon wide from On, goes it with the repel. Faker in with a charm, looking for the damage onto Shun, takes him down to half. Carrier low as well, Ono at a third. BLG, it could be the one moment you really have an advantage in this game. Another charm from Faker lands onto Knight, who jumps away across the veil, tries to hide in the darkness of his jungle, but T1 able to stop BLG's Baron advance, and because of that, can turn their attention straight towards it.
And Pays is about to get up.
Yeah, Doran's just making sure they don't get the resets.
He has teleport. Pays is about to get up and he has teleport, so he's going to teleport over to the Baron. That's going to be T1's now.
It took so much from BLG. A great flash Cocoon from On to find Pays. But when you are this far behind, you have to capitalize, and T1 will not let you do that. You do not win this game unless they are...
Nice pick from them on the key player. However,
Faker, hallowed miss, charm goes wide as the skip and slash comes out from Bin. Doran with a good path maker though will lock him up.
Mid, while the rest of them wrap around.
And Carrier finds the bone skewer onto Knight. Owner puts the standard down, no vision at the moment for T1 in the middle of the pit, but they're just going to step forward and get vision themselves.
Faker rotating
still not here, does have the TP, Elder down to 10k. Faker on vision, BLG trying to step forward, but Ono and Doran are just too tanky. Faker with the Spirit Rush can go across the wall, good double impale, but that's on the tanks, the Cataclysm going in. Ono almost falling, Knight down already though as Pays finds it. T1 eating them alive in the river. You will take this series out of their cold, dead hands. T1 take us to 5.
What an epic series here. They're going to even it up. It will be 2-2. T1 at the Elder Dragon. They take the team fight, and they're going to push for the Nexus.
BLG fought valiantly, but in the end, T1's early game, the pressure they enacted through the bot lane was enough to keep BLG at bay. When these two teams meet, we are always guaranteed a banger. And this time it is no different. Bring on Silver Scrapes.
Oh my.
With Shun is this Kindred. So often seen as just a facilitator, he can take over a game, as we've already seen in this series with the Kiana, with the Neferi, and there is the Yanara locked in for T1.
He's going to try and dance around this Trundle. You have to be a little bit
drop, but doesn't manage to live through it.
All right, should finish up on that Dragon 2 with their priority in both mid lane and bot. See about this invade though, because Owner is here with ult.
Jumps onto Shun. Dance of arrows, the impale, the pillar not stopping it. We'll see the Lamb's Respite coming out as well. There's the encore as BLG one more out of the fight. Shun takes it, takes his fourth mark. But Shun is so experienced on this pick as Pays and Carrier alongside Owner come across to try and contest the grubs. One taken, secured by On, and it looks like BLG will give up the ghost of the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, Owner gets back up and is able to make it back out in time to grab the other two, but I mean, that just pushed the gold lead to 2K for BLG, plus no flash, and I believe Shun had him marked.
Yeah, he got his fourth.
If you theoretically, you know, Doran, Gnar, you can try and like push people off of a Kindred ultimate or something like that, lead back, but otherwise, Shun's doing a very good job increasing this gold lead, taking away camps, and Faker under attack.
The encore onto Faker, unleash power from Knight, makes Faker take a knee. Enough for Shun to take that 2-level lead for Shun now over Owner, and it's almost a true 2 levels as well. Owner only about a third of the way to that level 10. Equalizer down from Bin with a TP behind Faker. Knight will join first, seismic shove doesn't connect. The scout of the week will though. Shun looking for the beat drop alongside On towards the bottom side, but in the end T1 will be able to walk out. Invested was an equalizer and an enchanted crystal arrow alongside the transcend oneself. That's Yanara's ultimate. But with T1 on the back foot, BLG will happily take a consolation prize of the Rift Herald.
Doran's gonna take a look, but yeah, they are indeed going to take that prize.
For the Drake, and the push in mid means that T1 can't get in to contest.
Yeah, so much damage there from BLG. Even though they don't get a kill, they push them off and they secure their Dragon Soul point. They've already made the... On again has been, wait a second, Knight does hit the stun here onto Faker, and
Faker looking to try to trade back. Doran's on his way across, but Faker losing out on the 1v1. Unleash power, Saris the shield enough. Faker dashes away from the Dark Sphere. Faker with the seismic shove! Take!
And let's see, T1 is at the beginning.
Turning back onto On, dashing forward into Viper as well. There's the encore, cleanse away. Carrier caught out with though as Shun steps forward. Viper able to take the kill. A little bit overeager from the T1 bot side, and BLG very willing to punish.
Yeah, BLG, they pick up right where they left off. Teleport in from Knight, they use the Herald, immediately drop it. Mid lane gonna get blown open.
And this is the acceleration that BLG can bring. That charge was stopped by the pillar. They're still going to get the damage on the turret and should be a tier 2 for BLG. Once again, they extend that gold lead to about 2.5k. There is a Baron available. Looks like they're playing
escape.
High note out. Knight goes in with the rocket belt. Tries to get the slow onto Doran. Manages to do so. Flash away. Beat drop. Only finds one. Unleash power. Doesn't get the stun. The equalizer goes wide and Doran gets himself out. But the Baron was actually begun by Viper and on. And now, because they do not kill off the Nard, Doran, that last glimmer of hope for T1 manages to survive, and now T1 take the mid lane tower, take plates off the bot lane. Now. Haven't seen those arrows finding their mark as much as they'd like. No bullseyes yet for BLG as the bot lane tower falls to the slow advance.
They're going to threaten it for sure.
Minions.
They're going to start hitting.
T1 on the Baron. BLG, they must know. You see no one on the map. Wherever T1 is 22 minutes. Obviously they're going for the Baron. There's a whole shot out as well.
Burn, burn, burn! Faker builds a wall!
Down the Weaver's wall. BLG trying to climb over it. 5,000 on the Baron. The equalizer down the knockup, as well as Ona falls low. A scatter the weak. Encore! Do you want more? BLG won it, and Sun secures it! A scatter the weak into an encore combo. Silence. Unlikely to be the final push of the game, but just as T1 had started to come back alive, BLG immediately put them into a sister lead. There will be an inhibitor tower in the mid lane. The Baron remains. This Red Bull Baron power play will continue for the next 2 minutes. This is soul as well, and soul crushing for T1. So much was lost over that sequence.
They got kind of close within range of damage on the Baron, so they decided, you know what? With this wall from Faker, let's try and burn it. But BLG still are able to get there in time. So much off the map, and feels like with that play, they are moments away.
Yeah, you can see Shun as well at 7 marks. So accelerated in this game. Doran trying to push through the bot side. He still has 1,000 gold lead, but look at the rest of the map. It's the K at least in every role. T1 trying to push through mid, seeing if they can find some pressure points on the map to play through, but BLG unwilling to give it to them. Weaver's wall in from Faker. Saves the tower for now, but those cannon minions are going to do enough work to take it down. Faker now isolated from the rest of T1, who will just walk back towards mid. BLG can continue to push. He's going to go for the engage. BLG backed away enough. This is an inhibitor-saving TP more than anything else.
Here comes the onslaught. BLG closing in with the Baron buff. Bin will push up mid, 4-1. Playing it safe, staying at range, waiting for the next wave here to buff up. It's a cannon.
It's the last 10 seconds of the Baron buff. Ona goes in with the Impale. Encore lands onto Ona. Subjugate comes out. Doran looking to build up that Mega Barber with the Equalizer. He might die before he can even go into his Mega form. A dance of arrows and a dance of death out from Shun. As T1 are relegated to defending only their Nexus Tower. Has been pushing in. They have no top laner. Can T1 do it? Can they find a way to get back in this game? Because right now BLG aren't giving them an inch and they need a mile. BLG here. I thought it was T1's home turf here in Day On, but BLG are claiming a small strip of soil on that stage. MSI is where they belong. This is their home ground, and T1 cannot stop their advances. The Lamb's respite out from Shun just keeps him alive. T1 trying to get through it, but Pays is down, Own is down, T1 is down, and BLG will claim the victory.